Hi, my name's Gary, and I have a neurological condition called dyspraxia. This is my very first video that I'm making. Hopefully I got the camera all set up right, all the switches and plugs and wires, so this is working. So this is my very first video, and what I'm going to do is, if you're seeing this, that I probably started a YouTube channel, and that I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet, but I'm going to post my videos on there, and then I'm going to disable the comments right away, because in the past when I post videos and stuff, I get nasty comments and made fun of right away. So this way I'm not even going to deal with that. So if anybody wants to try to do that, they'll be wasting their time, because I'm going to make it very hard for them to do that. So what I'll do, the comments to my videos for now will be disabled, and then if I see likes showing up on the YouTube video, then what I'll do is create a closed Facebook group, and then at that time I would invite people to join a closed Facebook group, so then I would have complete control of the communication with me. Well, I'm unprepared. I didn't write a script or anything. I'm just being myself. And so here we go. This is the very first video. So this is history being made, or no one will know or care. So, my name's Gary, and I have dyspraxia. I didn't know I had dyspraxia, or I wasn't diagnosed with it until 2012. I grew up as a kid who had learning disabilities, was always in special education, right up to through high school, and I've taken college courses. I was able to take enough college courses to, I earned 91 credits, but didn't finish. I never got to the point of completing a degree because of the math courses I would have to take in order to earn it. I'll get into that later. So I'll start out as a kid. I was born a month early, and then didn't really notice I was any different than anybody else until I started school. And then they noticed that I had trouble when I had pre-kindergarten screening. And then went to kindergarten, didn't really notice anything different, or until they started pulling me out of class for testing. And then I remember having what I know of now as psychological evaluations. A man would come and pull me out of class and take me to a separate building and conduct tests. So what I know now is a psychological evaluation. And then when I got to first grade, gym class, that's where it showed up more, because I couldn't tie my shoes. And this is a big part of my dyspraxia or DCD. They use that interchangeably. That I had trouble tying my shoes. And basically, the gym teacher is a big jerk about it. And then I'd go through gym class, and then he's like, the next time I see you next year when you come back, I want you to be able to tie your shoes. And that was like at the end of first grade in about 1979. And then second grade, I came back, started second grade, and then had gym class with the same teacher. And he lined us up and assigned us lockers for our gym shoes. And then he asked me, did you learn how to tie your shoes? And I said, yeah, or I lied to him, I really didn't. But I didn't want to catch any flack from him. So then he assigned us lockers to put our shoes in. He'd write the locker number on the back of the shoe. Then we started doing physical fitness testing. And then we got to the part where you do the 50-yard dash. And then what I did is just take my shoelaces and tuck them in the shoe. And then we're running the 50-yard dash. And then it was my turn, so I ran, and then the shoelaces popped out and everything, and he saw it. And then he yelled at me in front of the class, I thought you learned how to tie your shoes. And it's like, and then he said, you need to learn how to tie your shoes. And he says that nobody in this class is going to help you. And then after that episode, or that day after school, I went home in tears. And that was a traumatic experience with tying shoes and dyspraxia. Yeah, that was one of the major upsets. And then second grade was a hard year because my weaknesses are being exposed. And I did not like going to school at all during this period. Because in second grade you start learning more math and expected to do it faster. And then I would, the teacher would play a record in math class, and they would give out math facts on the math facts on a record player. The teacher would play it on a record player, and then it would read like something plus this, something minus that. It was second grade math, and you would do it really fast. And I wasn't able to keep up. So then I just wrote down any answer, even that more than likely I'd get it all wrong. So I just pretended to keep up with the other kids and go through all the math facts just to look like I'm keeping up with the other kids and turn it in. And then had crabby teachers. There's I had a crabby teacher in second grade, and I think, yeah, kids who have dyspraxia usually dread gym class, just like I mentioned with tying shoes. Then it comes to teams, sports. Or the part of gym class where they choose teams. They have to divide the class up into 2 teams. And then you'd be the last one picked. Because most kids or have trouble catching a ball, wouldn't be able to perform, and then nobody wants you on your team if you're not good at like a baseball, kickball, or any kind of thing. Any kind of team game, team sport that you play in gym class. And then you are the last one picked. So that's one part. Another one is our public speaking too, like I'm doing now. That's real difficult if you had to do and get up in front of the class to do anything. And of course, if you're bullied, it just makes it that much harder. And then yeah, so that was the roughest part, was tying the shoes, getting picked for team sports and games. And then writing. That's also a challenge too. When you have to do fill in the blank in the workbooks. And usually if you have dysgraphia is a thing that goes along with dyspraxia. If you write real big and you can't fit all the words into the line provided in the worksheet, and then it kind of runs off. And then writing is usually painful or uncomfortable, so then you do it slowly, and it may be illegible. Then the teacher starts giving you a hard time. You have to practice your handwriting more, or to work fast enough. Then you can't write fast enough, and that's another thing when it gets to the point of note taking. And this is back in the 80s when they didn't have technology. So you can't write as fast as the other kids. So it's hard.